Fountain Bowl in Fountain Valley, California. Xtra Frame is proud to present the sixth stop of the 2016 PBA50 Tour tonight. The Stepladder finals of the PBA50 Fountain Valley Open presented by Track. And good evening and welcome live from Fountain Bowl, Mike Jakubowski alongside
Tom Carter.
It's great to have you with us calling action tonight. We've got another outstanding Stepladder final, and for the first time in 4 events, Pete Weber is not going to win.
That's the amazing part of it. I mean, the guys are like, they're pretty happy right at this point. There's going to be a new title holder tonight.
Weber pulled out of this event in favor of a little bit of rest prior to the USBC Open Championships, but we have a tremendous show on tap. Our opening match features Sammy Ventura, who performed late in the position round, going up against Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli.
That's going to be a good match, playing 2 different parts of the lane. Sammy did some tricks to get here. He bowled a great 10th frame to seal the deal, to be on the show. It's going to be an interesting match, and I know the nerves are Sammy. He's going to be quite the showman out there, I believe.
Tom, amazingly, Chris Warren has never won a PBA50 national title. He gets his shot here tonight.
Chris, in his defense, doesn't bowl that many. If Chris was out here more often, he would definitely win. He throws the ball fantastic. For a guy that's 100 pounds soaking wet, it looks like he puts a lot on the ball.
Going for his 11th title all-time on the PBA50 Tour and second this year, the great Walter Ray Williams Jr. in the semifinals.
He had a look today that was just unbelievable. He told me he felt great. He's actually getting to throw the ball the way he wants to throw it. And when that's in his game plan, he's going to be hard to beat.
All rungs on the stepladder tonight go through the left side. Parker Bohn the third on top of the stepladder.
Parker bowled. It was funny. He was lost in the beginning, and he found it, switched balls, and he made it look absolutely easy the last 4 games today. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he's got a look on the lane.
It's a big show tonight. Get on social networking, Facebook and Twitter. Tell folks you're watching live from Fountain Bowl. It's the PBA50 Fountain Valley Open, and our opening match is set to begin. Let's get right to the action. Sammy Ventura taking on Amleto Monacelli in our opening match. And there he is, Sammy Ventura. Big game in the position round to seal the deal and earn himself a spot here in the Stepladder final, looking for his very first national PBA50 Tour title. Opening shot of our Stepladder, and a little bit of noise as folks are settling into the seats.
I think he's a little nervous, a little wound up. You know, he wants this really bad, and he'll put on a show for us. In the 10th frame, I thought he needed to strike out. He threw the first one, didn't get the second one, but then Kretzer needed to have his second one and didn't get it, and that allowed Sammy to be on the show. He's doing something a little different. For most people who know Sammy, he never wears a wrist brace. He put a wrist brace on halfway through this tournament to change his role, and he basically came out of nowhere, and now he's on TV.
Extra look, opening pitch, you'd expect a little bit of nerve. Sammy, a keyed up guy, and that one crosses over.
Sammy is always pretty animated. You watch him out there when he's striking, he's got his hands going, he's shooting the pins down.
Before we began tonight, in classic Sammy fashion, he said, I can crowbar him on the fresh. And he gets 2. Spare for Sammy Ventura up against the Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli, looking for his 6th career senior title.
He's going back to the track heat. He had a pretty good look with the black ball that he was using. We are all kind of giving him a little slack. The black one actually hummed going down the lane. You could hear it.
Opening pitch for Hall of Famer Monacelli on 45 and 46 here tonight, live in Fountain Valley. Wide path of the pocket, splits the 8 and the 9.
He gets to get it out there to that 4-5 board, and it just comes screaming back, and his carry has been incredible. I was going to ask him if he ran his 3 miles today before the match, but
he ran 2. Generally, he runs a couple on days of competition. Spoke to him about that. When he has a very early block, he'll get up and just do a 10-minute sprint of sorts just to kind of get the blood going. But he normally does run 2 miles during competition days and anything upwards of 5 on non-competition days.
If we're not doing enough walking as it is. So when's the last time you ran 2 miles?
I did 30 minutes on the elliptical the other night, and I was proud of myself. Opening double for Monacelli. Nicely done.
I actually think he throws the ball better now than he did when he was younger, on ABC Sports.
Before the match began, Sammy V, sporting the Syracuse colors, wanted to throw a shout out to all of his fans back in Syracuse, New York. Also his wife Tracy watching tonight, along with Sam Sr., who couldn't be here. Sammy, thinking about you before you shoot up here for the Stepladder final. Second frame for Sammy, important to get out of his shoes here and put on some quality shots. Second frame. A good pitch, but the 10-pin.
Sammy looks like he's trying to help it a little bit, trying to get that elbow out a little bit, and getting around it a little early. Ball's starting up a little soon. He's always really pretty aggressive, and it kind of looks like he's trying to place the shot a little bit right now. You know, he wants to make good shots. He's on the show. Totally understandable. He's just he's got to get those nerves off, at least by the third or fourth frame, and start stringing some strikes, because he's bowling against a veteran that isn't nervous.
Sammy looking for his first national PBA50 Tour title. And he had a best career finish of 5th back in 2012. His first year on the PBA50 Tour was back in 2010 and had best finishes of 18th in the Senior Jackson Open there and 13th in the Senior Northern California Classic. That's where we're headed next week in Brentwood at Harvest Park Bowl. Best finish of 10th in 2011. Sammy owns 5 senior regional titles. He's a 2012 and 14 PBA50 East Region Player of the Year. And Sammy has a non-PBA career that carries some weight as well.
Yes, he does. He's always been a force to be reckoned with out here. You know, he might not even look like he's in the game. Next thing you know, here he comes.
And doesn't roll the 2.
Doesn't just seem like he's just hitting it as hard as he was earlier. It just seems like he's being tentative. He's posting the shots, but he's just not getting through the bottom of the swing quite like he was earlier today.
Sammy did mention the key to his game is posting the shots. He says, I have a chance if I post and if I keep it firm and straight. So all slashes, opening 3 spare run for Ventura. Monacelli with an opening double and can put his foot on the gas here. Mike Jakubowski with Tom Carter at Fountain Bowl, 60 lanes strong. Big thanks to Dave Osborne and Gary Foreman for their support of the PBA50 Tour. This is such a great venue to visit over and again, and then they've gone and improved the place.
Yeah, they've remodeled, and it's a beautiful center. They treat us absolutely phenomenal here. The U.S. Open has been here several times. I bowled the U.S. Open here early on in my career. They had a tent sitting outside where all the guys put all their bowling equipment, and it rained like crazy. And hopefully you weren't in the path of the rain so your equipment didn't get soaked. But it's been, they've supported the PBA for quite some time.
Fast 8 for Monacelli, and you can see the sun streaming in from the high side of the building. It may be causing a distraction right at the line, as you can see it there. And an open frame, ball goes past the 4.
That's kind of characteristic of this pattern. There always seems to be a lot of oil on the pattern, but going cross lane to the left side spares, even your plastic balls would get down there and make a move. It looked like it was on line, and it would just check up just enough that it'd catch you off guard.
Interesting to note that Monacelli's plan was to get softer with the speed, and when that didn't work, he would go to a new ball, and normally he would do that later in the block, but he's making the call here to do it very early.
I don't think he's very comfortable right now with the shot. They just redone the lanes, and they're going through some transition. So, he's fighting it. He gets through this match, though, he's going to have a good look at the next match. Whoever wins this match is going to be set up pretty good.
Flat 10 for Monacelli.
The replay, you can see that the sunlight's really coming in. That happens at Harvest Park Bowl too, in Brentwood, with the pneumatic doors right there at our entrance. The sun really comes in.
Spare for Monacelli, and really a lift for Sam Ventura. You don't strike and you find yourself 2 pins ahead.
Yeah, well, he's filling frames. He's in the match. He's thinking he's probably looking at getting run over here, and all of a sudden the door opens. And the big thing out here in any match is filling frames, which is the hardest thing in the world to do sometimes, especially when the lanes are tricky on the back end. This is a 39-foot pattern, And you got 21 feet of transition, and the ball comes out of the lane, and it wants to jump.
Ventura +2, looking for his first strike, 4th frame in our opening match in the PBA50 Fountain Valley Open. Good pitch, best.
Sammy taking advantage.
Great fan support here at Fountain Bowl over the years, and certainly this week. Here's an extra look at the best shot Sammy's thrown thus far. And that is the Furman straight he talked about.
The Pro-Am here was fantastic. The people in the Pro-Am, and they're just so excited that when we're here, and they're really into it. And they ask lots of questions about the tour, and you can tell that the people here actually follow us, which is great.
Key shot here for Ventura can stretch a 2-pin lead to 12. First chance to double, left lane. And flat 10.
Looked like he tried to open up the lane a little bit more. He's getting a little bit more aggressive now. I was waiting for the signature Sammy handshake before he puts it in the ball. Normally when he gets on a roll, you'll see that hand, just his bowling hand. He just shakes it, and he puts it in, and he shakes it again, and he puts it in.
Also keep an eye on that right hand, because he can keep the pinky straight or curl the pinky depending on what he wants to do with it as well.
Yeah, normally tucking the pinky gets the ball to skid a little bit sooner, cleaner through the front part of the lane, and gives you more of a back-end reaction. Untucking the pinky gets the ball to roll a little earlier, smoother back-end reaction. It all depends on what kind of shape he's looking for out there.
Sammy gives that 10-pin the business like only Sammy can. Monacelli's key was trying to stay smooth without overhitting.
Again, 39-foot pattern. It was really easy to want to hit the ball because you got hook out there, so you can make it hook too much. Then it jumps right through the face, and that's not good. Then your next shot, you send it too far into the OB, that's 2-8-10.
Good shot there from Monacelli, all 10 down in the 5th. Chance to take the lead back from Ventura. And a look at our scoreboard, and a look at the great crowd here at Fountain Bowl. And great support of Southern California in the house tonight. And we're glad you're wherever you're at. Live on Xtra Frame, Mike Jakubowski with Tom Carter. And Craig Elliott will be along to call our next match. The winner here will face Chris Warren, looking for his first national PBA50 senior title.
And Chris has got a great shot at it because he had a great look on the lanes all day today. I actually thought he was going to be a little bit higher than third the way he was rolling the ball, but the scores, the last 4 games were out of the building. It looks like they're trying to fix the sunlight down there to help the guys out, putting up a little bit of shade to block that light out.
Last minute adjustments by Keith Brovald in the PBA Player Services area, and a quality double from Monacelli.
He's putting the pressure back on Sammy, and Sammy's used to pressure. He's won some major things, and he's used to it.
Sammy says, I'm pretty good under the gun. In typical Sam fashion. Trying to set himself up here in the 6th so he can try to take the lead back from Monacelli. 6th frame. Wants to wheel, and it does.
Oh, here he goes.
Brings out the gun.
Yeah, the animation is going to start here in a minute. He throws another one. He's going to be entertaining to watch. There's a classic post. And he said if he posted, he could make a good shot. And he will post it till the ball hits.
One gun's a 6-shooter. The double guns, that's the Isaac from the Love Boat. 7th frame, Ventura, opportunity to take the lead away from Monacelli. Winner goes on to face Chris Warren. 7th frame.
There is no easy match in today's format.
A little deeper on the left. And a quality pitch.
There he goes.
Out comes the Python. Good double from Ventura and an extra look. A little deeper on the left lane.
He's backing him out. Back
over to Monacelli. He's got strikes working, can take the lead right back.
You watch Amleto, and then there's not a whole lot of an expression change. It's almost like he's got ice in his veins.
And yet, you know, the Colombian blood runs very, very temperate. Solid turkey for Monacelli, gets a lead back. The beautiful part of Monacelli is he's so friendly. He's such a gentleman, but he's such a competitor as well.
And we went out to eat with him in New York a couple different times, and what a prince of a guy, you know. And all the guys are off the lanes, but you know, on the lanes, he is. I mean, he's a tiger. Off the lanes, you can't ask for a nicer guy. Smiles, laughs, tells jokes. For the four-bagger. Oh. He's definitely knocking on Sammy's door there.
Not a bad one in the bunch.
That classic style, that elbow snap at the bottom of the swing. And when you get to the next match with Chris Warren, you'll see a unique wrist action at the bottom of the swing that I don't think anybody can duplicate.
Sammy knows this is a long ladder to run.
Yes.
But the time to perform is now. Ventura, 8th frame, trailing to Monacelli. Winner goes on to face Chris Warren. Walter Ray Williams Jr. waits in the semifinal. Parker Bohn III is the tournament leader. Pitch high, trips the 4.
He got after that one. He didn't quite post it. He just actually put something on that one. Kind of heated it right down around 12 out to 8. It was amazing the way the lanes kind of broke down this week. Guys were starting out, playing real straight, and the next thing you know, in 15 frames, they're crossing 18, 19 at the arrows, taking it to 5 and just blasting racks.
Ventura foundation frame can snatch the lead back. He trails by 2 pins. Or rather by 8. He can take a 2-pin lead. 9th frame. Hook. Oh, the can opener comes out.
There we go.
And out comes the Orange Crush. Bearing the colors of his native Syracuse. Extra look.
Sammy getting fired up. This could be a slugfest, clear to the end right now.
Monacelli will finish first. 256 max. 248. So Monacelli in a position to shut out Ventura foundation frame.
Needs 3.
Oh, that is a Hall of Fame 5-bagger.
Did you see that 8-pin just go straight back right off the deck?
Let's see it again. That is a Hall of Fame 5-bagger. Destiny in his own hands. Monacelli will operate in the 10th.
Not much Sammy can do about it. Just sit back there and hope for a break. Then if he gets one, he's got to take advantage of it.
High flush.
He knows he got away with that one. Well, he's been in this position 100 times. This next shot shouldn't be just a walk in the park for him. He'll make an adjustment off of that just so it doesn't go high and leave some kind of split. You don't win as many titles as these guys got by letting guys off the hook. You got a chance to close the deal, he'll do it.
Seven pin stood briefly, but no, Monacelli. Some good count here.
Well, Sammy's got to be proud of himself, the way that he bowled the whole week and what he did in the last couple of games, especially in the position round, coming from 7th to get to 5th. He's got to be proud of himself. He can pat himself on the back.
Back rest for Monacelli, decisive victory. And we'll go on to face Chris Warren. After the open frame, Monacelli, just one non-strike.
Yeah, he made an adjustment and went with the game plan. He knew what he had down there when he was practicing, and it was just a toss-up which ball he thought was going better through the pins.
Good finish for Ventura, 5th place finish here, and that will match his best ever record on the PBA50 tour. Career best finish of 5th back in 2012, and will equal that effort here tonight.
I know he's disappointed himself. He wants that first title, but you got to be proud on the other hand that, you know, he made it to this point against some great bowlers.
And a great position round match to get past Brian Kretzer to get here. Just not enough on this occasion.
Brian Kretzer keeps going. He's be our PBA50 Rookie of the Year the way he's been bowling.
2 appearances and 2 top 10 finishes, 1 in the Stepladder and just outside the Stepladder this evening.
You got another newbie out here, Eddie Graham, that's lighting him up pretty good too. The first
Very,
couple of stops.
Very talented player. Final score, 256, 248. Amleto Monacelli advances. Craig Elliott and Tom Carter. When we return, Amleto Monacelli takes on Chris Warren live on Xtra Frame.
Congratulations, Sammy. Chris Warren is going to take just a few warm-up shots, 6 in all, and we will start match number 2. Could you turn on lane 44, please?
He wants to throw a couple warm-up shots. He wants to warm up Amleto. That person wants to give a hug too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to begin match number 2 here at Fountain Bowl. And it will be 6-time PBA Tour champion Chris Bohn. He's won 46 times on the PBA Regional Tour. He's going against USBC and PBA Hall of Famer, 20-time PBA Tour champion Amleto Monacelli. Let's start the matchup with a nice round of applause.
And here we go, Craig Elliott and Tom Carter back for this match. Chris Warren, 46-time regional titleist, won PBA 50 regional, looking for his first PBA 50 title here at Fountain Bowl, taking on Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli.
This isn't going to be an easy match to win. Both of the guys obviously rev the ball quite a bit. They both got a great look, and it's just going to be a matter who carries because they're both hitting the pocket a lot.
Yeah, we saw Chris Warren's pocket percentage was just off the charts this week. I don't think it seems like he never missed a pocket.
I watched him. He was throwing pins everywhere and made it look like it was league, which is a good thing because that's how he gets here. Oh, talked about that earlier. You get wound up on this pattern and you want to push it because you can't hook it, but there is a slight bit of an out of bounds if you get it right early, and boom, pay the penalty, 2-8-10.
We saw a lot this week. It's 4-pin, 2-8-10 with just board and a half, mid lane, and the ball just skates on you.
And a lot of 2-8s. A lot of guys left 2-8s. I don't even want to think about how many I left, but it just because you wanted to get aggressive because you knew it was hooking, but then you hit the out of bounds. What was bad was the lanes hooked so much on the back end and the ball changed direction so hard, it was easy to miss the 2-8 because you thought you had it, and when the ball hooked, it hit the 2 and missed the 8.
Interesting to note, Monacelli stayed predominantly with that Legion solid all week, a big ball, a solid black ball. In the matches here now, he's gone down to that track heat.
A little cleaner through, a little cleaner through the front, a little more angular on the back. For the most part, a lot of the guys threw solids all week long just because they needed to tame down the back ends, because you could get there with the pearls, but then the pearls would squirt a little bit like that. He almost did the same thing, and you were in trouble. And if you slowed up on it, it hooked so much, so fast. Big 4, a design of some sort down there.
And we definitely saw a lot of those this week. Chris Warren with a couple of big balls on the rack, the Eternal Cell and the Rocket Ship. And I think the key for him this week is he's able to, like that shot there we saw squirt down lane, because he's throwing the high rev rate with a bigger ball, he can break out that 2-8, 2-8-10 combination that we've seen a lot of. Just gets enough more off the spot because it's a bigger ball and a high rev rate that some of the other players couldn't do.
Well, the rev rates of the remaining guys on the show are pretty unique. You know, Walter, in his own right, does rev the ball, but he keeps it in such a tight line compared to everybody else. But he doesn't have the rev rate that Amleto, Chris have, or Parker. I think he thought he had a pretty good look after practice, and it's kind of going away, or he's trying to be just a little bit too soft. And if you watch his wrist action at the bottom of the swing, not many guys I know at the peak of the swing or on the way down can break the wrist backwards, then get back through the ball at the bottom and just have that whip at the bottom. That's what allows him to have so many revs on the ball. If he gets lined up, or either one of them, they're going to strike forever. Oh.
Can't come much closer without making that.
Did I say that the back end's hooked quite a bit?
Yeah.
He just hooked it right between the 310.
And talk about the scoring pace. We just saw 256, 258, Sammy V and Amleto Monacelli the first game. Put on a great show, the two guys.
Like I said earlier, Sammy, I know he's a little disappointed. He put on a great show, though. You can't be disappointed in the way he bowled. And he bowled fantastic to get here. Yeah, Ameleto's just, he's tough. The guys in this top 4 now, and Sammy being the newbie, if he'd have walked the ladder, that would have been something to be very, very impressive with.
And how about this form for Amleto? Does this look the same now as it did back in '86?
He looks better.
I mean, goodness gracious.
Well, he's in shape. You know, he runs. He does all kinds of exercises. He eats right. Take a look at Chris Warren. He's 100 pounds soaking wet. Amleto can't be much more. The guys on the show, Parker, Walter, all thin. They're in shape. You know, they say bowling's not a sport a lot of times, but you take a look at these guys and the young athletes that bowl on the collegiate circuit and stuff. Those kids are in shape.
Well, look at the number of games it took just to get here. 8 games Monday, 8 games Tuesday, 11, 16 plus games today, depending on where you came from, plus the step ladder.
Right.
That's a lot of ball games in a few days. Plus the travel, the long week in Vegas last week, the mental grind.
Yeah, and it's every week, and now we got a little bit of downtime, but you know we got another regional coming up in 2 days in Modesto, then right off to Brentwood, then right back to Vegas for the Masters, and it's a lot of bowling. Depending on the format, and what people don't realize, if you just made the cut and you get clear to the show, you can bowl 21 games in a day, and I don't know. When's the last time you bowled 21 games in one day?
Never.
That looks a little bit better. That was the ball he's using a phase now, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like snuck a ball change in there on. It's going to the phase.
That was the ball he was lighting him up with today. The lanes are definitely going through some transition right now. Guys practicing on them, trying to break them down, you know, for their upcoming match. So things are going to change. Chris is kind of unique. He's got that little hesitation timing stuff there. Probably the only other player that I know that kind of hesitated on his way to the line was Brad Angelo. Kind of started, then stopped, then went. And Chris Warren's a little bit more defined.
Well, and he uses that to load up and get that power. And he said 100 pounds soaking wet. I mean, pound for pound, he's one of the most powerful guys out here, though, without question.
Everybody always thinks you got to be a big guy to rev the ball. No, you don't. You don't have to have a big hand, and you don't have to be a big person. You just have to have great timing. And I think the slugfest has just begun.
Just like we saw in game one. A little feeling out period the first couple of frames, and then off to the races. Amleto Monacelli with his good luck charm, Venezuelan flag jersey.
Mm-hmm. He normally has a jersey that he wears sometime that has 0 on the bottom. It's some artist that I'm not familiar with. He was about ready to quit the tour, he told me one time, and he heard this song by this person that inspired him, and he decided to give it one more week, and that was the week he won, and that's the Amleto we know now. You know, it's kind of funny. If he hadn't heard that song, he might have went home and would have never, ever known who Amleto was.
Been a mainstay on both tours for several years, decades. And a chance for redemption after last week's.
We've got basically Amleto, Parker Bohn, Walter Ray, and unfortunately Pete didn't show up this week, but those guys are mainstays on both tours. They're still competing on what we call the kids tour, and they are definitely competing out here. Chris got an opportunity now to put some pressure back on to Amleto. That spare kind of opened the door for him a little bit.
And Chris mentioned it earlier, physically he feels pretty good. I mean, he's getting a lot of games in. The 8 games in a day is kind of his, where he starts to get a little bit sore. But the key to him and where he feels right now, and he quoted Dick Weber earlier, winning never gets old. He's here to win again.
No.
That's why he's out here. He can do it. He's got, you know, as many regional titles as
you know, you don't get 40
most
titles
of the world
without being good. You know, he would have more titles. He just, you know, he owns a pro shop. He's busy during the bowling season, and he doesn't have the opportunity to come out and do the whole swing. If he did, he would definitely be, you'd see him on the show a lot more than just right now, and he'd have more titles.
And that's what the high rev rate's going to help there. It's going to break up those 2-10 combinations and give him a chance at a spare and stay in this match. That's not a shot that Walter Ray is going to get back from there and kick that 2-4 out.
No, if Walter sends it out there, it's probably going to be a washout. It's amazing how many of these guys can flatten their hand as much as they hook it, can flatten their hand and throw the same ball they threw for a strike, dead straight, and sometimes even back it up for a spare. They always say, you know, if you come out here to try this sport against the seniors, everybody thinks the seniors can't bowl, but that's a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah, I beg to differ.
Yeah.
We've seen some impressive
But you
displays.
You got to be adaptable. You got to be able to do a couple different tricks. You can't just do one thing because we run into so many different patterns. The lanes break down. You got to be able to hook it. You got to be able to throw it straight. Earlier, Chris Warren, when he was earlier this morning when he was bowling, he was literally throwing the ball straight up 5, you know, down and in. He got tired of that. Next thing you know, he's hooking the whole lane.
Yeah, Warren started the tournament right out of the gate, 300, and really never looked back. He's been, you know, top 10 the entire week. Managed to stick around here, shoot 300 late in the block today.
Yeah, he's had 2 300s this tournament.
Qualifying 3rd position here in our Stepladder finals at the PBA50 Fountain Valley Open. Monacelli to go up 16.
Amleto doubled up, so now it's up to Chris. He really needs to take this off the sheet to put some pressure back on Amleto because just like last game, Amleto found it late and struck all the way out.
Yeah, he never stopped.
Messenger would have probably taken out some pins on lane 47 as fast as that came across there. Look at the difference between Chris Warren in this match and Sammy V last match. Sammy playing basically up 10, and Chris is 10 boards deeper, throwing it farther right and getting it back.
Yeah, Chris is definitely comfortable into this part of the lane as well. I mean, this plays right into his wheelhouse.
And this pattern allows you to attack the lane a lot of different ways. The big thing, like in any tournament, is how well can you carry at the angles you're coming in at. It's not just enough to hit the pockets. You got to knock them down.
And how about that week for Sam Ventura? Making a big push there that last game to get in the Stepladder, put on a great show. 256 against Monacelli. You'd expect to win that most of the times, but unfortunately 258 was thrown against him. But still a great week.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I know Sammy's disappointed, but you know, there's a lot of guys sitting back here who didn't get to get on the show. So he had a great week, and he's a competitor, and he's fierce. He's going to be out here long enough. He'll win it at some point. It's just a matter of when.
Oh, he's ready. He's ready. He wants that title. He's going to get it someday. And Chris Warren now another 10-pin, and he's just run out of frames.
Best he can shoot 219, and Amleto's going at a 250 pace.
And waiting in the wings for the winner of this match, our number 2 qualifier, shoots 805 his
out of the
first 3
gate.
games out of the gate.
And he's
Walter
hurt.
Ray Williams Jr.
And he's hurt. His back is out. His hip's out.
Yeah, I went down there talking to him. He said, "I'm just old." That was 56 years young, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Well, take a look at our tournament leader. You think he can't bowl before. Unfortunately, he didn't make the show, but in qualifying, Ron Moore, 60 years old. And he lit him up all week.
Yeah, Ron strikes in bunches. Look at the shot from Monacelli. Splitting the 8-9.
He's getting it out to 5-6 down there, and the ball's just ripping back. You know, and the guys that hook the ball like they do, I mean, they've got area now. You know, when you got 5 boards at your break point, you're going to strike a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to beat.
For the 4-bagger. Ooh, that was a little high. Actually, a lot high.
Looks like he got a little extra on that one. Want to make sure to come back.
I think he was wanting to slam the door is what he was really wanting to do. That could have been a 4-9 real easily. So he strikes out in the 10th, shooting at 236. He's got a hope for a miracle. Chris does. You know, see, Amleto missed too many spares, so I wouldn't count on him missing this.
So 226 pace for Monacelli, filling up the 10th. 219 max for Chris Warren. Warren needs to sheet to make a mark.
Well, he's got a sheet to put some kind of pressure on him and you know, see what happens. That's all he can do. Well, there's one. Put the finishing touches on 3 more, then all he can do is hope for the best for him. We've seen stranger things happen in the 10th, though.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. And the number of splits, as you said, oddly, as we've seen this week, anything can happen in the 10th.
Oh, yeah. You get a little soft because you're trying to be precise. You could leave some kind of design down there that's not makeable.
All right, Warren carries that one more in the 10th, and he will force a mark from Monacelli. Monacelli even mentioned earlier that the key for him this week is ball speed control. The slower ball speed, just get the ball to float down lane, retain that energy, and face up and knock down 10 pins. And he's going to have to get up here in the 10th frame.
I know Chris is probably kicking himself in the butt in those first 2 frames using the other ball. You know, he could have went right to this, and I think he'd have been a little bit more comfortable.
It was a gutsy move. He warmed up down on our warm-up pair with the other 2 the whole time. I don't think he threw the phase at all in practice here and decided, look, I got to go to it, and he did.
Yeah.
A couple of 10 pins would have made the difference in this match.
Yes, it would have. Hindsight's always 20/20, though, right?
And that's the curse of a bowler. No matter what you do, you could always maybe done something different.
Right.
But you know, you learn, and
you know, well,
it's tough, right? I mean, you've been in those positions. You got to commit to whatever that ball change is or line change and just do it.
Well, that's kind of my job out here with being the player services rep for Brunswick Deviating Radically. You know, my guys get out here. Standing back here, I see a different motion than sometimes what you see at the foul line. Mm-hmm. And we talk about it and hopefully make the right ball changes, the right adjustments. Make some surface changes if we have to. You know, if the ball doesn't read the lane the right way and slow down at the right spot, you're not striking.
218 finish for Chris Warren. Monacelli needs good count and a mark. Any mark here to advance to take on Walter Ray Williams Jr. in our semifinal match.
Oh, split the 8-9 again.
That qualifies as any mark right there.
Yep. Signed, sealed, and delivered right there.
And the next match with Walter Ray Williams Jr. could get interesting. Walter's going to be 10 boards right of where Amleto is at the arrows.
I'll guarantee you he's at least 10 right. He'll be throwing an Ultimate Inferno. And he told me earlier that, you know, that he feels that the shot is in his wheelhouse. He feels good. He likes where he's getting to play. And that's probably not a good thing for any Walter's opponent, because if Walter feels really comfortable, he can repeat shots.
Yeah, and it's got to be tough to be Walter's ball rep for the last couple months. You're going to throw an Ultimate Nirvana or an Ultimate Nirvana. I mean, he's been living with that ball since, what, Pasco County, I think?
Yeah, I drilled that ball last week for him, and you know, he when he gets a ball that he likes, he just keeps using it. You know, he's got a brainiac that he uses every now and then, but he really, really likes the Ultimate.
And John Weber with the announcements. Next up, Walter Ray Williams Jr. versus Amleto Monacelli, a battle of Hall of Famers. Craig Elliott and Tom Carter will be back with the action here shortly. PBA 50, Fountain Valley Open, live from Fountain Bowl.
We turn on lane 44, please. Could you turn on lane 44, please? Lane 44. Shot remaining. He's chosen to make Amleto Monacelli start on the left lane. Walter Ray Williams Jr. from Oxford, Florida. He's won 47 times on the PBA Tour, 10 championships out here on the PBA50 Tour. He's a PBA Tour Player of the Year 7 years. He's won twice out here as PBA Player of the Year. Let's give these two bowlers a nice round of applause to start the match. 20-time PBA Tour champion Amleto Monacelli, 47 times Walter Ray Williams Jr. Good luck.
Semi-final match, PBA 50 Fountain Valley Open. Tom Carter, Craig Elliott in the booth. A couple of Hall of Famers, and after that 5-minute introduction of all of Walter's accolades through his career, we're going to get this match started. Amleto Monacelli will start on the left lane. 46-time titleist Walter Ray Williams Jr.
47.
47?
47.
I missed one.
How do you win 47 times?
I barely bowl 47 games in a year, so I don't know how I can win 47 tournaments ever.
I mean, that's
fantastic.
It's just unbelievable. I know he's bowled a lot of tournaments, and we all have, but to win 47 times, it's absolutely unbelievable.
And I think John said in the introduction, 108 titles between the 5 guys in the stepladder.
That's why they're still in the stepladder.
That
They
means-
know how to
that-
win.
That means they're kind of good.
What's that old saying? Winning never gets old. They obviously prove that. We're having a little scoring issues. The monitors didn't come up right when they started. Amleto 9 spared, and they gave him a strike. We're doing no tap.
Yeah, why not?
And we talked about it earlier, that they would be playing 2 different lines, and that's about as different as you're going to get, I think. Walter, like right up 8, out to 7.
But he gets that high flush hit where a lot of the guys don't. I mean, if Amleto hits that shot, it's 9 pin because the ball's going left.
Right, he just
Walter
keeps right.
just faces up and it just goes right straight back.
Well, he doesn't have as much axis rotation, on the back part of the lane as a lot of these guys. And like I said, Walter's thing, you can see it in his face. He's in his comfort zone. He likes where he's getting to play.
Yeah, it's just throwing a high heater with a little bit of loft and just right. I mean, back what he just loves to do. If you give him this look, he's going to be tough to beat. Monacelli's going to need another one of those 258 games, I think.
At least. They always say straighter is greater. It's fun to cross boards, though. It makes the pins dance. But obviously, being straighter has won more titles. Wow, he got that a little bit farther right than I expected it to come back.
Get this out to maybe 3-4.
Yeah, he had to be on the verge of that out of bounds, or he just dead pured that off his hand, because I think Chris, when he was throwing out there, that was a split.
Well, even talking to Chris earlier, if you got it there a little too soon, that's when it read early and just took off left, where Amleto got that a little farther down lane and just the ball recovered beautiful.
Out here, we always talk about throwing the ball from point A to point B and not trying to belly the heads very much. And Amleto is really good at that, sending it down the lane, across the lane on a straight line from point A to point B. It gets to that break point and goes left to the pocket. A lot of guys, I think, misinterpret, kind of hook. They want to send the ball to the right off their hand really quick because it looks cool, but it's not effective down lane.
And 2 different lines on this pair for Monacelli. Walter Ray, pretty much the same, just hard straights. They're just throwing pins everywhere.
Walter coming out of his shoes. Maybe his hip injury and his back injury are making him focus a little more. I think we're having technical issues. He's taking a re-rack.
Walter Ray starts front 3, Monacelli spare double.
So right now we're going, 290 to 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Walter wins by 10.
Yeah.
What's a high score match you remember seeing in your years in the game?
I can't tell you who it was, but it's been 300 to 300. And that's when I was first out on tour, and I was pretty much in awe of people just being out there, and I got to see that. I got to see, I think it was in Peoria, Illinois. I think it was Charlie Standish. Watched him go 300, 279, 300, 279, 300.
Wow.
In a 5-game block.
And their high flush for Walter does not kick the 9 out this time. Maybe just a touch inside of target.
The signature thumping spare ball going down the lane. Dead eye. He kills that thing, and I swear to God, he hits every hole that ball's got just going straight down the lane.
And Tom, you spent enough time with Walter. It's not just his physical talent, but it's his drive to consistently win and get better, right?
Yeah, some guys out here, they kind of mellow out, and they're just happy to be out here and want to bowl and compete. But, man, he puts on those shoes and steps on that lane. His drive to win is, he's got one thing in mind, and that is being on the show every week and then winning after he gets there.
And he's been there more than anybody.
You got to have that fire. I I think Dick Weber had that fire. He's concerned, there's no second place. There's only winning. You know, Pete's got that fire. Obviously 4 in a row.
And that's something you can't teach. I mean, you're born with that. That's just that inside determination.
Yeah, you either have that, I don't know what you'd call it, kill instinct, and they're born with it. I asked Pete one time, I go, where is that switch back here that you turn on when you step on the lane? He goes, I don't know. He goes, you know, everything can be going just fine. I step on that lane, and that switch goes off, and there's one thing in mind, and that's winning.
Beat that guy across from you.
Yeah.
Chance to slow roll that 10-pin. Falls off in the gutter. Does not happen. 10-pin for Monacelli.
You know, there's so many guys out here. One that, you know, they've never had a chance to bowl on tour, so they're out here on the senior tour, and they're having a good time. And, you know, if they get to this point and they win, you know, so be it. But it's not like to them, you know, it's got to happen, you know. To these guys that are on the show, Parker, Walter, Amleto, it's that way.
It was nice of Walter to watch him go through the pins, but he knew right off his hand that was dead flush. There was no doubt about this one.
Yeah, like I said, he gets the ball that he likes, and he can use it on multiple patterns. I think that, you know, he's got another Ultimate Inferno that he uses, and it's between that one and this one, and the layouts aren't that much different, but he just likes the way the ball reads the lane.
Little different pin carry, same result. 269, 279 possibility for both these bowlers.
One thing about Walter, he's not into, you know, some guys, they send a messenger across and they like that, so they try to actually put more on the next ball to throw more pins around. He's not about that. Let's just knock him down.
Let's see if Amleto gets this one out to that 3-4 again, or if that was just a bit of a miss, because he's much more inside on the left lane. And a little tighter.
Yeah, that was high flush. He didn't get it out near as far. He's crossing like 20-21. That was out to 8. And that could have been almost too high. Like I said, what's he got? Five boards at his break point down there.
Yeah, and that's a nice problem to have. If he knows he can miss right, just maybe give a little bit more and just let it go.
Yeah.
Tough problem to have.
It's a problem you want. Amleto trying to put some pressure back on. Ooh.
Back-to-back 10 pins on that left lane for Monacelli.
That's, I guess, the downfall of crossing that many boards. You know, it still looks good, but a lot of times the angle can be off just by a little bit in 10.
And a little deja vu for Monacelli with those 10 pins rearing their head again. 6 10 pins last week in his stepladder match at the Senior U.S. Open, and now back-to-back 10s on lane 45 against Walter Ray. And the last thing you want to do is give Walter Ray a sniff.
No, that's a bad idea. That didn't come off of his hand. He's looking at he just kind of like flattened it off his hand. He's not liking that shot at all. It comes.
But happy with the result, because that could have been a washout or any number of things, and it is a makeable 2-8.
Well,
somewhat makeable on this pattern.
Okay.
We've seen him miss a few times, obviously.
Yeah.
But
John Weber just called back something.
yeah, they want to move the 2-pin back on spot. Did it something happen there when it reset it, maybe?
That might not be a bad thing if you hook at it. At least you got a little bit more to go with.
Yeah, you don't want to block on that 8-pin if you're trying to hook into it.
The one with the 2-pin.
A little levity now in this semifinal match.
We get a little bit of a break. The guys,
Yeah.
that gives the Walters hip a chance to rest. Looks like we're going to be turning off the lane to crawl down there and reset it manually.
Tom Baker taking a peek. Chris Warren want to take a look at what's going on down there too. Great crowd here at Fountain Bowl, packing them in for this championship round of matches here.
Pin back on spot. This is something that's always amazed me about Walter. You know, like blowing a thumb hole, gets his foot set, looks up, rocks, and goes. I mean, there's no thought to this at all. I don't think he was totally sure about that one when he let it go, but the results are good. Because that was down 8. That was, it's a good thing he did reset that.
It's definitely a good thing that 2-pin was moved back over a little bit because, yeah, that might have been a little blocker. So 147 in the 6th, spare up in the 7th for Walter Ray Williams Jr. 8-pin lead over Monacelli. Didn't like that one either.
Walter did it again. He's put a little bit more air time on the last 2 shots, got him out there, and he's coasting a little bit too far down the lane. I think he might be, look at him, he just kind of raised and hit that.
Is that caused by just squeezing it a touch maybe, or what causes that?
I think he's such a field player for speeds, and he changes his approach, and I think he's just trying to keep the ball on line. And so he just kind of overthrew it, just trying to make sure he just kind of pipes it and keeps it on line. And everybody's got their twerks that they do. For me, I know when I need one, I better make it 2-1 left because I tend to get slow when I need one.
And now where does it come into play, the line that Walter's playing as opposed to Monacelli? And Walter's almost got across Amleto's line twice on his way to the pocket.
Yeah, and depending on how much oil's on the lane, Amleto could be pushing a little bit down there to the break point, you know, because you got more guys playing Amleto's line than you do Walter's line, even though that Sammy V did kind of play Walter's line. But, you know, you look at Amleto, he's actually crossing, he crosses Walter's line there, then back across Walter's line at the back end.
A little 17-5 for Monacelli. As you mentioned, he's got a little right, a little left of that.
Yeah, he's got like 5 boards. And, you know, most of the time, you know, we're happy if we have 2 to 3 at the other end. You get 5, shoot, that's a whole arrow.
So Walter Ray will finish first, can shoot 245, but he cannot shut out Amleto Monacelli here in this semifinal match.
Yeah, those 2 8s back to back that he left, kind of uncharacteristic of Walter. But he definitely needs to put these next 4 together, put some pressure back on Amleto. Dusting off his hands like, okay, I got away with that.
Ultra high flush, tripping the 4 out, but it's an X on the board. And a very big one in the Foundation 9th frame here in this semifinal match.
$49-45 if they both go off the sheet. Walter needs this one. Oh, he pulled the ripcord on that one.
That ball never left the 1-3 pocket off his hand. How many times have we seen this shot from Walter A. Williams Jr.?
Yeah, time and time again on the show. 47. Not, well, I'm sure that somebody has it in the records, but how many shows total has Walter Ray made? That's got to be a stat somewhere that somebody has.
Oh, it's got to be 150. I mean, at least.
I would think.
Guess, yeah.
You know, how many seconds, thirds, fourths, and fifths? My Lord. Somebody will send us that stat here. We'll tell them.
So good count, and he's going to force Amleto to at least double.
Ameleto's going to have to double, and there goes John Weber. We need the John Weber tracker going down the lane.
Yeah, there's their honor applause.
There he is. John Weber. One of Pete's older brothers. The Webers do such a fantastic job out here, John being the national tournament director. Rich Weber running the Midwest region. And Walter Ray finishes it out with 245. Amleto has his work cut out for him. He's got to put 2 in the pocket. I don't think that's probably the issue. He's got to carry 2.
He's got to carry the 10-pin, yeah. Double and 7. Amleto advances to face Parker Bohn III for the title.
Oh, the late 10. He was staring it down. It looked like it was going to stand. Yeah, I think he was a little worried about that. He's staring it down like, oh,
Look at that
no.
6-pin kick back out. Took it out at the toes.
Well, this is going to be a must-need shot right here to get a chance to bowl for another title. Amleto winning the Japan Open earlier this year.
Japan Cup for number 20.
Yeah, maybe 20 years apart when he done it or something like that. It's incredible.
So Monacelli for the win.
Oh, he wound that one up. Oh, and there it is.
And that's when we talked earlier. He knows he's got the room. He just got all over that one, sent it out, trusted it, and look at that result.
Yeah, he sent that one. He sent it and hit it with everything he had. But when you got area on the lane, your swing gets a lot looser.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, when they're tough, it's tough to really relax and let your swing go. Great finish by Amleto.
245. Amleto Monacelli defeats Walter Ray Williams Jr. Next up, Parker Bohn III. Tom Carter, we're going to turn the headset here back over to Mike Jakubowski, and you guys can call the championship match here.
Oh, okay.
PBA50 Fountain Valley Open championship match up next.
Here we go, championship match, PBA50, Fountain Valley Open, final warm-up shots. John Weber sharing his share of the time on camera tonight. Big thanks to Craig Elliott for sitting in. John Weber, tracker, exclusive to Xtra Frame. He's making things happen, as always, our esteemed tournament director. We celebrated a birthday here the other night. And,
yes, we did.
And John Weber, much beloved out here.
Had to tell him there was a fight going on in the bar, so he'd come in just to have a surprise party. My wife tells him there's a fight in the bar. It's a fight in the bar. He comes in, looks around. Where's the fight? It was priceless.
Parker Bohn III, Amleto Monacelli. There will be a 6th Hall of Fame champion on the PBA50 Tour. Will it come from the left or will it come from the right? No one's touched Parker Bohn's side of the lane.
Well, it's either going to be absolutely pristine or it's going to be not so good, but knowing Parker and the talent that this gentleman has, I think we're going to have one heck of a match.
2 times, 35 times.
Mike Jakubowski with Tom Carter. Jeff Goodger driving the TriCaster 855 tonight. And our title match, Amleto Monacelli and Parker Bohn III. And Parker calls his own number. He's going to begin.
That's he must think he has a better look on the right lane. It's kind of funny when we got in the round of 16, and he hadn't watched any of the previous rounds. He was out there and he threw 4 different balls and down there. And I go, "What do you think?" And he goes, "I think I don't have a shot, and I don't like any of the ones I'm throwing."
Opening strike from the left arm of the great Parker Bohn III, looking for his 4th senior circuit win here tonight.
But it was amazing. He threw 4 different balls. We talked about 2 of them, put those away, and he goes, "I think I'm going to go with this one." And the rest is history. He just lit them up.
Here's Amleto Monacelli defeating Sammy Ventura, Chris Warren, and then Walter Ray Williams Jr. with a clutch double in the 10th to earn his way to this title match. Monacelli, the 20-time PBA Tour winner, looking for his 6th PBA 50 win here tonight. Opening shot. Between 3rd and 4th arrow, swings it out and brings it back.
That's a little interesting because the last match, that crossed like 17, 18. The match before he was crossing closer to 21, 22, taking it out as far as 4-5 down lane. And Craig and I were talking that it looks like Amleto's got like 5 boards at his break point down there. And your swing can get pretty loose when you got that kind of area to hit at the other end.
Monacelli crossing over, first crack at the left lane here in the title match. Strike apiece. PBA50 Fountain Valley Open title match. Hall of Fame talent from the left and the right. Here's Monacelli.
There's no doubt that Amleto has this pair of lanes dialed in. He did it his first match. He did it the last match, especially at the end of the match. He figures out a way to throw a 5-6 bagger in there.
Oh my, 7-10 7-10 split.
Wow. And the only thing that gets, I think, Parker in trouble sometimes, I know it's a senior tour and we're not supposed to throw it that hard out there, but Parker can throw it 18 mile an hour. That one probably 20 plus. And if he gets a little amped up, create a little bit too much speed down lane, you know, and the ball doesn't read.
And very interesting, as I talked to Parker before, he said his key was to get comfortable with his speed. And secondarily, he said feel was so important, the temperature variations in the building and his ability to get the right feel.
Yeah, even in qualifying, he felt like what he calls he had to slow wheel it to get the right shape on the lane, to get the carry that he needed. But, you know, you're in a title match. You get a little amped up, you might throw it low through the break point. But that's unfortunately a bad thing to do with Amleto because he's had a great look on the lane.
And the key to him advancing over Walter Ray was relaxing in that situation. And it was the key was his relaxed shots what really struck those racks.
Yeah, it came off his hands so clean because he didn't even look like he was in a match. You know, if you looked at his demeanor, he's like, hold on, got up and just let it go. Oh, that was what we call really high flush.
The great ones take advantage of the opponent's errors. Here's a turkey.
That could have been disaster, but you know, when you got the right roll, it goes down.
That's a deadwood clear,
hey,
and Parker opting for offhand slow speed.
He hit his target that time.
Extensive deadwood clearing coverage. You only get that on Xtra Frame. And well, we have a moment here on the re-rack. Did we have our official Tom Carter RV update yet for the tournament?
Yeah, let's see. 2 broken hoses going down to Florida and coming back up. A water valve went bad. The water tank had to have it replaced. Got to Reno. Brakes went out of my car. And the windshield got smashed. Other than that, it's been a great set. Amleto sending messengers across the lane.
Scissors out the 10, and there's only one spot where you can get the John Weber tracker and the Tom Carter RV update. That's right here.
Right here on Xtra Frame. Yeah. And if you're not a member, you need to be. I'm glad I didn't see that.
We'll see you Monday at Harvest Park Bowl opening qualifying round coverage of the PBA50 Northern California Classic title match here. Bohn with a strike working 4th frame.
Yeah, he's got it slowed back down. You just got to hope that errant shot doesn't cost him. You watch Parker set up. He is so meticulous about where he puts his feet. You watch him line up his feet. I mean, they're like exact. And he goes through the same setup every time, which you should.
Get a reset here. Front 4 for Monacelli, Parker Bohn 3 out of 4, but the big hole coming back in the second on the 7-10 split. But Parker can extend a double to a turkey in the beer frame.
Which doesn't sound bad.
Oh, yeah. Drops the left hand. We'll have a cold one following our title match for certain. Here's Parker. Extra look. Boom.
That's kind of his signature. Step out, pull the ripcord. He knows they're going down.
Key shots here as Monacelli can extend his lead. He's up 32.
32 pence. It's amazing what an open will cost you.
And 10 pin stands.
Oh. That might have been payback for that one. It was just a little bit too high flush.
6 kind of shoved. That was kind of a half 10.
Yeah, when that one got to the break point, it didn't just face up. Instead of really making the turn on the back end, it looked like it just kind of laid off there a little bit, kind of half pocketed. We got a tape adjustment going on.
Coming up this weekend on Xtra Frame, the PWBA Tour visits Lincoln, Nebraska for the Pepsi PWA Lincoln Classic. Also, exclusive live coverage of the 2016 Proprietors Cup, Saturday and Sunday, live on Xtra Frame. Covers a spare does Monacelli. Up 31. Make that 21. 21.
It's kind of funny. You watch the demeanor of two Hall of Famers, and they're just kind of ho-humming it. You know, they don't look like they're tense or anything. And Sammy V, you could tell that, you know, on the show he was wound up like an 8-day clock.
Gave it a run, though. Monacelli first to operate 6 frame in our title match.
A little slower, a little smoother through the shot. I think the pressure in the semifinals, obviously there's pressure, but now we're bowling for the title, and there's got to be some adrenaline going. You got to breathe. You got to keep your heart rate down.
And I've talked to Parker about it. He looks calm on the exterior, and he generally will say to you that first shot.
Yeah.
But then he dials in quickly.
Yeah. And once he gets dialed in, he's like Robo-matic.
And it's confidence and it's experience, and he knows where to go and what to do, and he executes.
Well, you know, they always kind of say if you don't have any nerves in the first shot, you really don't want it, you know. And these guys live for winning.
Full house behind him here at Fountain Bowl, back half of our title match. Bohn on a string of strikes. And
oh, that reset worked. This place is so cool with the lights on the concourse going down through there.
The old school street lights here, lining the concourse at Fountain Bowl, and slap out a ham bone for Parker Bohn. Trails by 11 now, can cut it to single pins after that 7-10 split.
And that was just a little too much juice in the hand.
That's a reset.
Yeah, that's 2 frames. He's kind of odd for Parker to do that.
Hitch in the giddy up, resets.
So he got away with it. I don't think he really liked it. Sometimes when you reset, you know, you're really ready to go the first time, but that reset is like you got to refocus and really. People think it's easy to reset. It's not. Clearing your mind, because you got to get rid of what made you stop to begin with.
And you saw the reaction from Parker as he slapped off that strike. He's within a stick. Monacelli by 1 can extend it back out to 11. Monacelli's got a strike working, 7th frame. Amleto extends it to 11, and the semifinal and the final, Tom. Classic competition.
It doesn't get any better when you're watching Hall of Famers do what they do best. And the reason they're here and the reason they've got as many titles as they do, it's perfection in motion. You know, their bad shots are better than most of our good shots.
Well, you talk other sports, football, basketball, about a one-possession game, and this is a one-possession match, and one shot will make the difference.
And you wouldn't think so in 10 frames, but it does.
Up 11, can extend out to 21, 8th frame for Monacelli. Boom,
And
boom.
that was dead flush solid. You know, there's nobody out there helping these guys. They got to do it all by themselves. They're not passing it to somebody that's going to make the touchdown. They got to keep their mindset and throw it pure, then hit a 1-inch target 60 feet down the lane.
Monacelli wears that jersey in respect of Renato Zero, the Italian singer, so he's got the word zero or zero on his back, and you can't see it because it tucks in under his belt, but that is Renato, Monacelli's favorite singer. Wonder if he knows Snoop Dogg.
different song.
Yeah. Parker Bohn slaps
Parker,
out the 7.
Yeah, a little back kick there.
Don't go anywhere.
It's nice when you get to talk to these guys sometimes off by themselves about, how was it in the early years, and they tell you stories like that. I almost went home, and like that artist there is what kept Amleto out here. You heard that song, and wow, he's taking another re-rack. He does not like that left lane whatsoever. But this is the last shot on that left lane.
.258 out there for Parker Bohn the third. Monacelli can max at 279. Title match, PBA50 Fountain Valley Open has reached the foundation frame. Oh, 4 around the 7 wicked.
Wow. He thought he had that too. He was stepping
Great
it out.
angle at it here.
That 4-pin just goes right around the 7. Now Parker's got to look for a little help. But I'm pretty sure Amleto's not going to give it to him.
247 max for Parker Bohn the third. The magic number for Monacelli, 248. Monacelli is already pacing in the 250s, so clean is a winner for Monacelli. Strike would seal the deal right here, 9th frame.
And I think he sealed the deal.
Oh, Messenger gets the 10.
Stand up, Messenger. You see that?
I mean, nice and slow through the pins, Jeffrey.
Standing up, taking it out.
And arriba, courtesy of Monacelli.
He doesn't like the left lane either. Another re-rack. He's not taking any chances.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. began in Pasco County, Florida with a win on the PBA50 Tour in 2016. Weber, and now Monacelli is looking for his 6th. Just a little bit of work left.
And Pete will be at Brentwood. So obviously Pete's going to try to make it 5 in a row for him. He bowled the USBCs this week. I think he bowls tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It'll be interesting to see because that shot doesn't seem to be too easy. People are having some struggles on it, to say the least. But so far, Pete's made everything look easy this season, so I'm sure he'll do the same thing there.
Join us Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from Harvest Park Bowl. Check your Xtra Frame schedule for squad times. We'll begin qualifying on Monday. Amleto Monacelli has won his 6th senior title.
And there you have it. He bowled fantastic. He found a line. He opened up the lane, and away he went.
6 PBA50 events, 6 Hall of Fame champions.
He's not having a bad season either after winning the Japan Cup.
That was a great way to start 2016. Jeff and I got to see it, and you got to see it live in Xtra Frame, and it really bookended his career as a PBA player by winning his 20th, where he won his first, and now coming and winning his 6th on the PBA senior circuit, just further deepening the engraving in his legend.
Well, yeah, and it shows an example of how great these guys are and the longevity of our sport. A lot of other sports, you only play until your mid-20s, and maybe you get to play till you're 30. These guys started when they're 18, and now they're 50 and 40 years, and they're still playing, and they're still winning.
And they're still doing it at the highest level, and it's still a lot of fun to watch, and we're glad that you were able to catch it with us here live on Xtra Frame. A runner-up finish for Parker Bohn the third.
The max score 247 to 2266. That's 710 in the second frame. That was a kicker.
Stick around. John Weber in the postgame show coming your way with the check and trophy presentation, and we look forward to Harvest Park Bowl. And
I'm looking forward to that.
And we'll gather around Jim's corner.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Yeah, I was telling you earlier, last year it was the first time I got to sit here in the booth on the show when Brian LeClaire won his first title, and it was quite an experience, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Tom Carter, thanks for joining us. Good luck with the trip up to Brentwood. We'll get the home update.
I got 7 hours, and hopefully she makes it.
Tom Carter, thanks a lot. Stick around for John Weber and the postgame show.
His money and his hardware. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all of you for coming out. It's been great here in Fountain Valley. We love it here. Thanks for supporting the PBA with your attendance. Also like to thank our hosts, Gary Foreman and Dave Osborne, the owners here of Fountain Bowl, along with General Manager Rusty Hanna. We sure appreciate everything that they have done, along with the volunteers and the staff here. It's been great. So let's bring out Gary and Rusty for a check and trophy presentation. Amleto Monacelli, our champion here at Fountain Bowl. We'll start up with the owner here at Fountain Bowl, Mr. Gary Foreman, everyone. Thank you very much, Gary, for everything.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. Congratulations, Amleto, on your victory tonight. There's our trophy. I'm going to turn it over to Rusty Hanna.
Pretty nice check here. Before I give him his check, I just want everyone to give these guys a great big round of applause. It's been a great week, a great tournament. You guys make this all possible by coming out and visiting us. We look forward to hopefully seeing you again, and I'd like to present you that and congratulate you. Way to go. Very good.
So again, congratulations, Amleto. Amleto, you know, last week you had a pretty tough match, and coming into this week, I had a feeling that you might win. Nothing against Parker Bohn because he was sure tough on you. But last week you had a tough match in the Senior U.S. Open, and I figured you'd be fired up here. Is that the case?
Well, yes, it was kind of hard to take it last week when it's such a great game, but I think you just have to let it go, and things happen and just go on. And just mentally, I was just prepared for this week, and here I am, receiving the trophy. Thank you, Fountain Bowl. Thank you, everybody that came here all this week. My fans, everybody, Rusty, Dave, thank you so much. It's great to come back here every year.
Thanks to the Xtra Frame crew as well for covering everything. I hope you enjoyed all the matches. That wraps it up here at Fountain Bowl PBA50 Tour. Fountain Valley Open champion Amleto Monacelli, everyone. Thanks for coming out and joining us. We will be back next year. Gary has invited us back next year, so we will see you all again next year. We look forward to it here in Fountain Valley. Thank you so much.